seen you with my queen and a baby girl. It was all a dream, now it seems like I had a world. I'm not really seen on the scene, but I like it like that.
Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about my experience as a fan at the Rolex 24 Hours and what I was able to capture as an amateur photographer there. Getting to the track was actually the trickiest part, as we had some pretty ambitious travel plans for this day. We decided that we were going to wake up at 3 in the morning and go to the airport and then leave on a flight departing at 5 a.m. to be at the track by 11 and in time for the grid walk and a green flag and the start of the race, no issues, whatever. But Spirit Airlines, joke of an airline, decided to delay our flight for 3 hours, so we were able to just make it in time to the track right as the green flag dropped, and I was able to capture this photo. Now, after we spent some time in the stands, we decided to take the slow walk into the infield, and we ended up in the garages, where this is actually an included package with the price of admission to any IMSA race. So we ended up walking around the garages for a little bit. As a photographer, I love the infield at Daytona. The amount of different shots that you can get just by walking around the infield is pretty amazing. You could stop by the International Horseshoe and use a shorter lens, and the cars are right in front of you, which is such a cool experience. Hey guys, just checking in. We are here right now, walking past the lake at Daytona for the Rolex 24. Now, for most of these shots in the infield section, you're gonna try and wanna use a little bit shorter or slower of a shutter speed to try and get some of that motion blur in the background of the photo. For most other racing shots, I personally don't like to use motion blur for pit stops and stuff like that, which we'll get to later on in the video. But anytime the car is moving, or say either a solo shot of the car or any action shots or anything, you're gonna wanna use the slower shutter speed and the panning motion and get that background all blurred out. What's up, guys? We're on top of all the garages here. We have our big lens and we are trying to shoot some shots of the cars going down the front straightaway. Now, I know I did take a lot of pictures of the same cars, but hear me out. Those cars did have, in my opinion, the coolest liveries. And as a photographer personally, I know a lot of people aren't like this, but I really like to see color in my image a lot more than different types of interesting lighting. So I focused on cars that I thought had the coolest colors and the most interesting paint schemes. Now we headed into the grandstand to watch the fireworks. As a fan, I know you can stay in the infield section. There's some pretty cool spots where you can get the car, the Ferris wheel, and the fireworks all in one picture. But I know that would be overcrowded with the actual professional IMSA photographer, so I didn't want to get involved in that. I wanted to just enjoy it as a fan. Now, while we're up in the grandstand, there is a different strategy for taking racing photos. So I was shooting on pit road from the stands, and for this I used a super long focal length, and I also increased my shutter speed to try and freeze a lot of the motion of the pit crews. So for pit road shots, you're gonna wanna use a higher shutter speed so you can freeze say the tire changer, for example. You wanna freeze the motion of him carrying the tire around the car, because that's more interesting than having him blurred out. After all this, we decided to leave Daytona and head to our car/bed for the night across the street, and I think we decided to leave around 1 a.m. So next morning we come back in absolutely exhausted, sleeping in a car, not very comfortable, don't recommend it. But yeah, we get to the track and just decided to enjoy the morning, watch the race, take a slow roll through, and I was able to capture a couple shots right at the end of the cars winning and carrying their checker flag down pit lane. Now for a lot of these shots, I did use the Sony A7C II, so I will be going a little bit more in depth of why I decided to use that camera for this event and why I think overall it is such a strong camera for various events like this. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. Please drop a like and subscribe if you like this video, and thank you.